Hutch and Branch, they're doing the media runs for Bounty during the Super Bowl week, and they got to speak with the guy from The Athletic. I apologize for forgetting his name, but he asked him specifically about the defensive turnaround for the Detroit Lions this season, and this is what they had to say.
You guys defensively in the first half of the season were running a lot more zone coverage. It was a lot just passive is the wrong word, but it was dialed down compared to what it was like in 2022.
For sure.
I think you guys were like top 5 in the league in split safety coverages and the percentage you were using them, bottom 6 in blitz rate. In the second half of the season, that shifted.
Yep.
You guys were playing a lot more man. You're bringing a lot more heat. Did they communicate to you guys why they thought that shift was necessary? Did you have a sense of why it happened?
Yeah, I was talking to AG, and I feel like he was saying he got away from himself a little bit. He got away from himself, and his identity is blitzing. His identity is applying that pressure, being aggressive, and he feels like because of some things, maybe it was personnel or anything that was going on, he believed that,
our guys are better.
Yeah, our guys are better. Let's just go challenge them. Let's just go challenge them.
Dude, Brian Branch was staring daggers into that man for the whole season.
He was.
But that's what we thought when we first saw is he got his guys at the end. He got some of the guys. You saw when they made the switch to Ife Melifonwu out there as a safety, how much that opened up that blitz scheme, how much more pressure it put on the quarterback, the amount of sacks that Ife put on the board. And I do think that is what Aaron Glenn likes to do. We saw when the defense kind of turned around last year. That's what he started doing. We saw obviously this year. That's what he started doing, and it opened up Aiden Hutchinson a little more. It wasn't just sit out in zone, wait for the corners to get beat and get picked apart by a Lamar Jackson or a Jordan Love or the other teams that we saw do that against the Lions. And when they started focusing more, doing that press man, sending some attackers to the quarterback, things started looking better. You started, holding the 49ers to 7 points in the first half.
Yeah.
You saw that defense kind of turn around even without having that elite personnel that we see the Niners or the Kansas City Chiefs or the Baltimore Ravens have. It was the confidence that not only he instilled in the defense, but those players instilled in themselves. Like, if he coming out on the field, we know who he is. We see the size of a guy like Ifeatu Melifonwu. He's not a guy that wants to sit back in zone and wait for something to happen. He is a playmaker. He wants to go up and make plays. So him rushing the quarterback, getting a sack, only provides him with the confidence to be like, all right, this is what I was drafted here to do. I can hang with these guys. I can go out there and make plays. And then he starts racking the sacks up. And then he gets interceptions. And then he starts making plays in the passing game as well. You have a defensive backfield with playmakers back there. Where you look at Ife, you look at Kirby, you look at Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. These aren't guys you want sitting back there in zone. These are guys you want hunting players. These are guys you want hunting the ball. And so giving them the freedom to do that by playing an aggressive man scheme not only benefits the defense, but it benefits them as individual players.
I think you saw the difference, right? I mean, we talked about it in the regular season. We chilled and watched the Broncos getting together. We kind of watched it evolve into that blitz heavy scheme. I look back at the numbers because I was having this conversation with Booner the other day, and he was like, "I don't think AG changed the scheme. He coached a better." Like, I was like, "No, bro. They got Ifeatu Melifonwu back." Mm-hmm. And then he was more comfortable to run where he's comfortable to run. And we remember going back to, again, the podcast they had with Adam Schefter before the preseason of last year. And he talked about, if it's up to me, I want man-on-man, and I want to blitz, I want to be aggressive. He talked about bringing back that old school style of football. Well, he didn't have the personnel to do so. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the numbers for Tracy Walker, only blitzed 18 times. And I believe he played the 5 games of action versus Ifeatu Melifonwu equals amount of time, starting 13. Like close to double.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Tracy Walker only 4 sacks in his career. Ifeatu Melifonwu 5 just this year.
Yeah.
Like he finally got the pieces he was comfortable to run his defense with. And the reason I wanted to bring this up and turn it into a little bit of preseason acquisition conversation too is let's get AG his people, because obviously when we see him, he's comfortable and he's able to do what he wants to do, what he believes in as a philosophy. That shit's lit.
And like I said, when you look at the guys they have, Brian Branch, where is he at his best? When he's playing that line of scrimmage, being aggressive on people in the backfield, he sees a running back in the flat, he goes out there and kills him like he did to Bijan Robinson. Yeah. When you see the quarterback with the ball blindside open, he goes in there and he kills him. That's why he's got a couple sacks on the season. It's the same thing with Ife Melifonwu. These guys see ball, get ball, kill ball. You don't want them sitting back waiting for something to happen. You want them dictating what the offense is going to do based on them attacking receivers and playmakers in the zone. You can't just sit there and wait for it to happen. You need to go get it. And that's what they're dogs. Kirby, dog. Like that video. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, dog. Brian Branch, dog. Kirby Joseph, dog. Jack Campbell, dog. Like, you got to let the dogs off the leash and let them attack people.
Exactly. Instead of playing this preventative shit, go on the attack. That's what they've been drafted to play. That's what they want in their scheme. That's the philosophy that AG believes in. KG, what was your takeaway?
I really got a question. So why do you think he started that in the first place? Why didn't he implement Melifonwu sooner? Like, why did he go
he had
away
the
from
injury?
blitzing?
So he was in training camp. He did something with like his finger. I think he broke his finger on like I think it was Taylor Decker. Decker's like pad or something like that. And so like, his first game back was the Chicago game, and then the next one after that was the Broncos game. We kind of just like you got to see him open up and actually like ball out a little bit there.
But I meant more like, why did AG go away from blitzing in the first place if this is his identity the whole time?
So my personal opinion, if you guys remember back against the Ravens, and maybe it's a different scenario too, because like Lamar is Lamar. It's just that guy does unworldly shit. But I don't know if you remember the time that where if he same way where Barnes could have had that safety on Dak. Tracy was blitzed on Lamar in the red zone and could have had a similar situation, and he just didn't get there in time. And then we got gashed for like I think it was like 30-something yards by either Odell or Zay Flowers at the time. But I witnessed that. I see him sending Tracy in that game, and I thought they were going to play Lamar well that game because the first time we played Lamar in 2021, when the team was worse, we kind of limited Lamar a little bit there. But Tracy, just whether it was like the Achilles or whatever it may have been, he wasn't able to be effective. So I think they just didn't feel. I mean, let's remember too, that game we got our asses whooped. So I don't think they were comfortable to go back with that personnel and play like that aggressive.
And we know how
That's my
important
opinion,
the safeties are to Aaron Glenn's defense. He likes the safeties being the green dot. He likes the safeties making the call and being playmakers. And I do think that Baltimore game was a wake up, because you look at it a couple years ago when this team was worse, how well they played Lamar in that Aaron Glenn scheme, in that attack scheme. And then this year, he did the zone scheme and sit back, and Lamar picked them apart. So he's like, well, yeah, okay, this shit ain't working, and switched it up. And then after that, the defense looked much better.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to pull it up right now, game by game, because I'm pretty sure, that was a game where he blitzed often, but then we're coming up with nothing. I can give you some time to find this. I apologize, guys. I got to go to game logs. Game logs, Tracy Walker.
Yeah, it's you know what you have with a guy like Ife Melifonwu, and they're like, I know this sucks to say because I like Tracy Walker as a player. He's not a Brad Holmes pick.
Right.
He's not an Aaron Glenn, Brad Holmes disciple. Like, if he is. They brought Ife in here for a reason, because he fits the type of player they want. He fits the scheme that they run, and he fits the assassin mindset that they have. I like Tracy a lot.
Yeah.
But I say it every time when I talk about Ife. Like, when we were down there at camp and Deshaun Elliott walked out of the tunnel, I was like, damn, he's pretty big.
Yeah.
And then Ife walked out behind him, I was like, god damn. Like, that dude is big, man, for a safety. And he hits, and obviously plays the ball well as a former corner. So I think that is something that plays into it.
Yeah, so Tracy, 8 blitzes on the season, 2 against Tampa. The next one was Baltimore, had 1 blitz, and then the rest of them, he had 2 more, Raiders, Chargers, and then 3 against Green Bay. And after that, he's benched.
Damn.
I'm assuming that's when Fonte Melifonwu came back. Yeah, Chicago, New Orleans and Chicago. I just don't think he fit what AG likes to do, per se. Yeah. And again, once if he came back, that's what we saw the defense open up a little bit.
Yeah, and there's a reason, like, they went out and got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Right. I know it's hard to turn down a guy like that coming off of the season he had in Philly, but he's been in the Aaron Glenn system before. He's got that dog mentality. He plays with that reckless abandon, with the I'm going to make the play rather than I'll sit back and see what happens.
Right.
And that's why he got the starting spot over Tracy Walker at the beginning of the season.
Exactly.